Hi, bows and bow ties. So, look, I had a conversation, maybe it was a week or two ago. We were talking about men who go to outside of practice, actually. I was talking to men who don't look like me. It was a brief conversation. And we started laughing about, in general, like men and women dating. And, like, I don't know, like, we're all married in middle age. And I made the comment about men who go to these areas where, look, men who leave the United States and go to places like Medellin, or, like, I cannot pronounce it, in Colombia, the Dominican Republic, etc. Um, I said, I said, they don't have to do that. I said, it's hard to explain. There was multiple things that were happening in the conversation. It was a really short conversation. The point I'm making is there's like men who go to these places, there's like a true imbalance of resources, right? And so I said, when they see these men coming there, these women are professional, you know what? And they're like it's like these men are a lick. And I made them laugh because I said, you know, when I was single, I learned from other women and stuff, but it wasn't like something that was explicit. It was something that you learn through heuristics, right? And I learned that, like, when talking to men, like, these could be guys that I genuinely liked, but I learned. You know what? I made my husband laugh too. He was like hee hawing because he sees the shenanigans too when we were talking about that type of thing. But I said it is so easy to get a man. Now when I hate saying get a man, like this is like the penultimate, right? But if we're talking about the goal of gaining a boyfriend, a husband, or whatever, I said it's easy. And I said all you do is you speak to their insecurities, you speak to their ego. That's it. And it doesn't have to be like outrageous. This is why I do not like taking this road at this time. Like, see, that was my fault for taking some extra time to sleep in, and now it is 6:42 in the morning, and I'm sitting here crawling to the exit. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not happy. Anyway, I digress. So, I said, what you do is you speak to their ego, and so, like, if you're listening to a man, especially one who has to travel to do those kind of things to find women, right? I said, what you do is you listen at first. You know what they value. And then you start saying things like, you know what? And you don't have to say you make me feel safe, but you say things that give the impression of them providing safety or them being so smart. And you don't have to say, you are so smart. It starts off with, like, wow. Now, look, I've had to do this before when, like, one time I was trolling a guy, right? Like, he was trying to, I think he thought he was schooling me on something. This was years ago. He was trying to school me on something. And he didn't realize I was way more experienced than he was. I forgot what it was, travels, I don't know. And the point I'm making was, it's like, it starts off with something along the lines of, wow, that's really interesting. I didn't think of that. And you don't say a whole lot. You just smile. You're like, you know what? I can see that you're a thinking person. So what you're doing is, if you're just having fun or whatever like that, you're just playing into the ego. If I were living in Colombia or someplace like that, I'd be more along the lines of, you know, if those American women don't know how to treat you like a man, and I would never do that to you. And you know what? You are so smart. And I love how you take care of your family. And all these are the things, right? Because that's all what the talking points are. I said, you speak to their ego. I said, it's the easiest thing. And then eat it up. Eat it up. I mean, I've seen it time and time again. You just speak to their ego. If it's if it's all about they're like really into like being in shape, you just make some casual comments like, "Man, I can tell that you are really in good shape," or like, "It's your all your hard work in the gym is paying off." You don't have to tell them they look good, right? It's the subtleties behind it. It's so easy. And what happens is you're constantly like in their head and they remember how they felt when they were around you. I'm like, but anyway, I said it's so easy. I'm like, if you're into trying to be like this big bad dude and you're just a provider and everything like that, I'd be like, oh my goodness. Now I'm exaggerating, but I speak to everything that would speak to your insecurities. I feel really safe when I'm around you. You know what? I feel really protected. I don't want to go in there without you. I don't want to go anywhere near this area. Can you come with me? Will you come with me? Like, it's so easy. Or it's just the little things. Like, I think, oh, I do remember one conversation, and this is a good example. With this guy, I remember I was in my 20s and I was sitting at happy hour and I went with a group of guys. It was like a group of us. We went to happy hour and I had like these guy friends. They were out trying to meet ladies or whatever, but I was sitting at the bar. And they would always come check on me, right? I'm like, just go. And I was sitting at the bar, and this guy, I was maybe, how old was I? 26, maybe 26, 27, 26, something like that. And this guy came up to the bar. He sat down, he starts running down his resume. And he told me how, you know, he just is this adventurous guy and he likes to travel and that he could change my life. And so, at this point, I'm sitting here at the bar and I didn't even say anything because I'm sitting there thinking, like, and he's like, you should consider traveling. And like, he just made a whole bunch of assumptions about me, not realizing that I had probably been around the world like a million times more than he ever would be. But what I did was, when the guy was talking, at first I didn't say anything because he was telling me about how he's well traveled. And he was like, I've been to Miami, gone to Jamaica. And he was saying these things. I'm like, so I didn't want to embarrass the guy. And I was just like, oh, well, did you have a good time? And, you're just letting him talk. And you're just like, yeah, that's amazing that you had an opportunity to travel to these places. And I'm just sitting here like, this guy is a full on clown. And the point I'm getting at was you just let him talk, you'll find out. People telling themselves, right? And the more he started talking, and I'm just like, oh, well, I'm glad you had a great time in Miami. Well, how did you like Jamaica? And how did you like this, whatever? And then when he finally asked me, like, so have you been anywhere? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, where have you been? And I started listing out some of the places. He's like, so basically, I look real stupid right now, or something like that. And I was like, well, I don't know if I would say that. But getting back to it, I'm like, all this stuff that these guys are talking about on these podcasts and everything like that, I just laugh because I'm like, these guys who are just like so out there and so wanna be hyper masculine. Those are the easiest ones to get because that's all they think about, and all you have to do is speak to their insecurities. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. And I probably didn't do a good job of explaining myself, but I just wanted to say these are hee-hawable moments. Hee-haw. Because if you speak to their insecurities or you can tell the things that they value, if it's having a strong body, and it's kind of like, oh, you must go to the gym. Then it's like, oh, so you're naturally built like that? You know, it's so easy. I'm just kind of like, that's the reason why, like, well, I don't listen to these guys, but you'll see clips occasionally. The people who are out here on these stupid podcasts, and they're so embarrassing. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's just too easy. It's just so easy. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I said what I said. Y'all go be mad and argue with yourself. All right. Bye.